Hello everyone, this is the second video in the series about my home cockpit. In this video I will demonstrate cockpit power-up and engine startups. I'm not going to go through the entire sequence of programming for the flight. It will take quite some time, and I might do it in one of the future videos. In the meantime, this is just purely to show you how the system works, how all these controls and the switches here and displays get as close as possible to reality, so hopefully you're gonna like it. So we're gonna start with flipping the master battery switch. Okay, this is powers up the panel, and since we already have a ground power connected, I'm gonna flip the switch and connect to the ground power. As you can hear now, fans turned on, equipment cooling turned on. And currently the system is in initialization mode, just like in a real aircraft. You can see there is some warnings come up here to represent those warnings. Display is not powered up yet. Flight computer system have been powering up. It's asking us to position initialization, however we haven't initialized the IRSs yet, so we're going to wait for that. First thing we're going to do, we're currently on the ground power, so that's fine. I will start initialization of IRSs. I'll turn them on, and hopefully we're going to start. We're going to see, here we go, the lights are flashing. They're going to start flashing soon, meaning they are ready to use. In the meantime, we want to turn electric hydraulics on, since we're running on the ground power, and as you can see, lights went off, which means there's no longer a problem. And I want to make sure this is set in the ground power as well. And I'm going to turn on the left pumps, because this is what's needed to start APU. APU runs on that side. As you can see, the display came up. The system is now starts to flash. It means it has been initialized. It's waiting for us to enter coordinates to pick left and right. So I'm going to do so using CDU, or also known as FMC. And I'm going to punch that in. Now, as you can see, all display came to life, showing our true heading, altitude, etc. Speed, engines currently idle, and as you can see, the idle here as well. The next step, we're going to start APU. So I'm going to put the APU on, and then I'm going to press and hold on the start until the green light comes up, and then I'm going to release it. Okay, we should see that the green light means there's some temperature change already in the system. Now we see yellow light going on, meaning there's a lower oil pressure. That typically happens when the turbine spins up. And once it's all operating, the yellow light is going to go off. Green light will remain on for as long as the APU is running. By the way, this is my interpretation. Instead of having a gauge here, I have decided to put a green light. And once APU is producing the right amount of electricity, this blue light is going to come up, which means we can then switch off the ground power and switch on using APU. In the meantime, I'm going to turn the logo switches on. Steady for the position light, anti-collision light is going to stay off, and wheel light we're going to turn on. Here we go, we have APU generator light came up, which means we can now switch to the APU generator and turn off the ground power. I'm also going to go and simulate disconnect of the ground power. And that is done. I'm going to set the parking brakes here. Okay, the light went off, the ground power is no longer there. Now we have an APU running. The aircraft is powered by APU. We are going to turn on the rest of the fuel pumps on. By the way, the central fuel pumps are off because we don't have fuel in those tanks at this point. And we're going to get ready for the engine startup. For the engine startup, we want to make sure that the recirculation fans are off. Once the left and right packs are off, isolation valve turned to auto. We're going to get a bleed from APU going, and we're going to start with engine 2. So we're going to put the air into the engine 2 from APU, and we're going to go to the ignition switch. Just we're going to make sure that here's the cutoff set to cut off. and we're gonna flip it to start the ignition. As you can see, controls come into life. I'm gonna go back to the camera and reposition it so you can better see how the whole thing's gonna be running. So I'm gonna try to zoom in for you as much as I can. And hopefully this is going to be in focus. Can't quite see from here. I think that will do. Okay, we're going to wait for the N2 to reach 25, which it already did on this display here. You probably cannot see it behind the handles. So I'm going to flip the cut-off switch, and now our engine's coming up to life. And you can hear also it's starting up. Okay, and I'll put the igniter in the continuous operation mode. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing for the engine number 1. I'm going to go here, open bleed to engine number 1, and start the igniter to engine number 1. As you can see, it's starting to spin up. Once it reaches 25% on M2, I'm going to flip the cut-off switch, and now it's engine number 1 speeding up as well. And once M2 reaches around 56, we're going to flip the igniter to continuous operating mode. I'm going to go back to position the camera to show what's next. We're going to focus predominantly an overhead panel for the next phase. So I'm going to put my camera at the overhead panel. So now that we have both engines running and producing electrical power, I'm going to switch aircraft system to use power from generator 1, generator 2. I'm going to flip the switch here to say use the power from the generators. APU is running, APU's load is not being used. We're going to shut off APU. Okay, it will take some time for APU to cool down, so the green light stays on as long as APU exhaust is hot. Okay, now since engines are running, we can now switch on hydraulics for engine 2 and engine 1. Lights go off. Okay, we now can start air circulation in the cabin. So we're going to put left pack to auto, right pack to auto, and turn on the fans. As you can hear, maybe the fans came up. We're going to turn the windows heat on. Left side, left front, right front, right side, and we're going to turn the prop heats on. Okay, we don't do anything here. We'll also turn the yaw damper on. Light should go off. Okay, and APU is still hot, so that's okay. We don't have to worry about that. And at this point, we will be ready for taxi. We will be switching. We will be setting our flaps. So I'm going to go back, reposition the camera once again to give you a view of the entire panel. Here we go. I'm just going to quickly zoom in to make sure I have the right focus for you, because I don't have a autofocus on my camera. Hopefully that will do. Okay, see all lights off. If I want to turn on anti-ice, it will turn and leave this blue for as long as anti-ice is turned on. I'm going to turn it off. I'm right now in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's quite warm outside. Actually, it's plus 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, I will set the auto brake to RTO. The light went on and off, which indicates that it's properly registered. Okay, if I were to set speed brake arm, as you can see the light, speed brake arm light goes green. Okay. I would lift and move the lever for flaps to 5. Flaps moving, that's one part I'm missing in the setup is the flaps gauge. I'm yet to figure out how to do it. Okay, I would, on the FS panel, I would set the left and right VORs. Here we don't have a flight program, unfortunately, but otherwise this would be what I will do next. We'll turn the taxi lights on for taxiing, and actually we'll turn them now. I would ask for pushback. We can do that. I'm going to request a pushback. Just using Microsoft default pushback option. You might also have a pushback from JSX, for example. Okay, at this point you would run through the checklist. Make sure you have the taxi checklist done as well. The flaps are set. We have the throttles at idle. Speed brake down. We would use trim, adjust the needed trim. That's would be the only time when I would look down in the virtual cockpit to see the real trim indicator. This one is just a dummy one. It doesn't have the actual reading, but as you can see as I turn the trim wheels, the real one turn as well. Okay, we're being pushed back. This is the terminal outside. And about now I'm going to cast the pushback. Okay, I'm going to set the brake in. And at this point, ready to taxi, so turn on the taxi lights. As you can see, APU cooled down, the light went off. Okay, we have pretty much everything ready. We want to put in the strobe zone. Okay, anti-collision lights on the wing. And at this point, we'll be ready to go. Reach the just for the front load. I'm using the pedals on the side tag, rudder pedals, to steer aircraft on the ground. In the future, I'm hoping to get tiller working, which will be probably one of my future projects. And as you can see, we're moving the taxiway. I'm going to stop at this point. I don't want to run into some other traffic. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. One other quick thing, I have some lights controls here. As you can see, I also have red LED lighting to illuminate MCP and the FS, as well as overhead panel when I go for the night flying. Again, thanks for watching.